And welcome. Oops, I started too early. Hello and welcome to Coping with Donald on April 2nd, 2026. I'm Phil. I know a lot of people are talking about Donald Trump's speech last night, which really has been said by several people, and I was thinking it during it. It really sounded like a bunch of his tweets all crammed together. Especially the whole part about admonishing Europe. But that didn't bother me as much as something he said earlier in the day. Donald Trump said earlier in the day from the White House that he believes the federal government should only be military spending. Okay? Think about all the other things that depend on the federal government. But he thinks the federal government should be military spending only. I guess still taking 6 trillion. I don't know. And that states should handle the rest. And I really don't think I live in the state of Florida. And I really don't think Ron DeSantis is ready or willing to take care of anything. I look at states like Texas and I look at states like Arkansas with Huckabee Sanders. They'll let you starve, okay? Um, Not get medical care, starve, and not have any retirement at all for you. I mean, he even said Medicare should be handled by the states. How would that work? That sure would get people out of the South, I'll tell you that. That really disturbed me. And what else? Oh, okay. In his speech last night, he said that Europe should get the oil themselves and grab it. And Tim Miller of the Bulwark, I'll credit with saying, this made me laugh out loud, at least he didn't say, grab the Strait of Hormuz by the pussy. And we have one more thing, Pam Bondi being fired today. What an awful woman, man. Can you imagine? If you had her as a relative, wouldn't that keep you from going to family reunions? Just that. But we should have a new dictionary definition, and that would be of the word Bondi. A Bondi would be a person who works somewhere and finds out the hard way that you just can't kiss enough ass for those people. And that's what she learned. They say she was begging for her job. God, like Trump always says, sir, please, sir, stop the winning. Okay, I just want to talk about a few stocks. I honestly think the stock market is overvalued. Um, the last today it started way down because of Trump's speech. It got it all back. Okay, and the 2 days before that, of course, it had very good increases. The old days, I remember stocks would say, you know what, we've identified a problem that may or may not happen in the future, so let's panic anyway, and then they would go down. And then by the time, okay, that those problems started and things were already pretty bad, the stock market would be on the way back up because they're supposed to look 6 or 8 months out into the future. I don't know if that's really happening now. We're getting bad news now. Okay? It's just started to come in. It's going to get worse as far as prices and jobs. There's a job report coming tomorrow. I wonder how that'll look. But I've identified, I always get this feeling that I'm going to, especially now I'm retired, focus on some dividend stocks, which of course don't have any growth. But I want to bring up 3 stocks that I bought this week. 4 stocks, excuse me. No, 3 stocks. It's 4 stocks that I bought, but 3 have dividends I want to talk about really quickly that I think would be good into the future. Um, And trust me, I put very little money in each one. Okay, it wasn't a big deal. It was like a $1,200, $1,500 in each one. But I think that over the 10 years, over the long run, it'd be nice to get that money every 3 months, even if it's just a little bit. But I'm telling you this because if you're thinking about something like that, I have three in particular, um, and I'll give you quick stories behind each one. They're all, they're definitely all on the downturn right now. Okay, let me put on my glasses. I won't be able to read the numbers. Sorry. General Mills, GIS. General Mills in May of 2023 was $90, and now it's in the area of 37. It's the lowest it's been quite a while. Morningstar says they feel a fair value of it is 57. Morningstar can often be a little too optimistic. But the dividend right now, which they haven't changed the dividend for years. I mean, they raise it like a penny a year or something. But it's right now, because the stock price is so low, it's 6.5%. Yes, they have had falling revenues, probably because their cereals are so damn expensive. But they make more than just that. The price earnings ratio is 11, and 6.5% is pretty good. I don't see them cutting the dividend. A second one is Kimberly Clark, which is now at its multi-year low, $96. Morningstar says its fair value is $133. The forward price earnings on Kimberly Clark is 13. It's always higher than a lot of other stocks. It just always has a higher PE. The dividend right now is 5.25%. It was last May. It was $144. Now it's 96. Now Kimberly Clark makes Huggies and you know Depends, things like that, and a lot of other consumer products like that. They're supposed to have a joint venture in the United Kingdom, and the United Kingdom is sort of they might not let them do it. I think, to tell you the truth, if they say, we don't want to let you do it, I think the stock price will go up because Kimberly Clark won't be investing that money into the United Kingdom. Best Buy. I know you're thinking, electronics store in this economy, but the PE, the forward PE is only 10. It was $137 in late 2021, and right now it's a price that I just forgot to write down. I think it's $64. The dividend is 6%. They don't show a history of dropping their dividend as well. And then this one doesn't pay any dividend. It's WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, which is going to be taken over by Paramount for $31 in a few months. But it's only selling for $27.34. About 13%, 14% below that takeover price, or buy price of $31, because people are expecting quite a fight in Congress and Security Exchange Commission, and worries about too much of a monopoly, which, to be honest, they should, because they have CNN and Paramount, which has CBS. If they get CNN, there's another Fox. But I'm taking a chance on the 14% gain a few months from now, but just with the small amount again. Another stock that shows that I have interest in is Target, but it's been on the rebound. It's gone from about $95 to $120 over the past few months. They also don't cut their dividend, and it's a little bit under 3% right now. I'm thinking it'll retrace 10, $15, and that would be a great time to get it. And then there's Nike, which I just can't get myself to buy. It just had a bad earnings report. The estimate's been dropped by quite a few rating services. But its dividend, because it doesn't drop its dividend, and the price has gone from $179 in November of 2021 to $44. Now, this is Nike. The dividend is 3.67%, but it's still not cheap on a price earnings ratio. And it just seems they keep having lower earnings and than the expectations um, from the analysts drop their expected price as well. So I just can't get excited by that company. I mean, when you think of Nike and their brand and all that, I mean, a lot of it had to do with Tiger Woods, who is more famous. I mean, people that are going to go out and buy Nike sneakers probably know Tiger Woods more for his drunk driving than his golf. And Michael Jordan. And who's seen Michael Jordan play who's 30 years old? I mean, let's see, you'd have to be, wow, you'd have to be at least 46 to have seen Michael Jordan when you were like 10 or 40. So, that's, to me, I don't know if Nike will ever regain that appeal. Maybe sneaker companies just don't make a lot of money now. Even though they still have a hefty price on their shoes, don't they? So, anyway, to me, I would pass on Nike for now. If I was going to get involved with Nike and I was a younger person, like 30 years old, Nike's at $44 a share. So, if you could, buy buy $1,000 of it. And if it gets down to 40, buy another 1,000. If it gets down to 36, buy a third 1,000. I think eventually Nike would turn around. But um, that would be the only way I do it, and I don't have that kind of time, folks. Sorry, to be so blunt. So anyway, this has been Coping with Donald. I'm Phil. Have a good day. Good luck in the stock market. I really think that it is not understanding how job losses, loss of income, are the fact that 40% of people don't have any money at all right now. It's going to get worse, and they're going to be charging things on credit cards. And I think that's another reason, by the way, why I like General Foods. I mean, people are still going to buy food. Okay, um, they just have to find a way to, in my opinion, cut their advertising so they don't charge $8 a box. How long do you have to see that bee whipping around the honey nut Cheerios? For God's sakes! I mean, they've had that bee for 30 years. People know about Honey Nut Cheerios. If they want it, they'll get it. And isn't that where Kix is made? My favorite cereal? That's for my sister Debbie. Yes, I think it is. Uh, so they also have the wheat checks. That's General Food, General Mills as well. And when Ralston had it, I thought wheat checks were better than they are now. I think General Mills kind of ruined it. But anyway, that's just some thoughts on some stocks. And if you're young, they say you should put growth stocks in your IRA, your Roth IRA, because then you don't pay tax on something that takes off to the moon. But then again, you wouldn't pay any tax on dividends, and you don't have to do any paperwork for it. Even if the stock goes up, like let's say General Mills goes to from 37 to 53 or something, your dividend will still be, in essence, 6.5% of the money that you spent on the shares now. It'll say, oh, it's 5% or it's 4% or whatever. But on what you're putting into the stock now, you're still getting that 6.5%. So think of it that way. This has been Coping with Donald. I'm Phil. Have a good day.